Circumstances change when life takes a dark turn, and one is confronted with the terrifying sight, scent, and sound of the wild creatures that rule over their territory. An ill-fated wildlife photography adventure, a penguin researcher's misfortune in a frozen channel, an unforeseen foray into leopard seal tempest snorkeling, the adrenaline rush of a solo explorer's kayak slamming into an Antarctic leopard's appetite, a mini Titanic detour for an exciting polar cruise intruding on red territory, and the brutal interruption of a seasoned marine diver and researcher's frigid sea exploration. When the wild creates its own story for you, it may be one filled with huge scares and horror. The Antarctic region is a vast, pristine wilderness defined by massive ice sheets, towering glaciers, and stark beauty. This beauty is home to diverse wildlife such as penguins, seals, and seabirds. The landscape's tranquility is broken only by the sounds of cracking ice and the occasional call of distant creatures. The mesmerizing colors of the polar sky, from vibrant sunsets to the ethereal glow of the auroras, contribute to the region's breathtaking allure. Such beauty does not easily escape the camera. Instead, the camera lives within such heaven. Wildlife photographer Olivia Davis was undoubtedly a supporter of these words. And why not? As an enthusiastic, successful, and natural wild photographer, Olivia moved around wildlife locations, capturing beautiful settings and spectacular scenarios that exuded the wondrous beauty and capabilities of the natural world. The wildlife photographer and journalist had visited almost all the most important and impressive wildlife habitats and destinations, capturing those memories on her cameras, phone gallery, and anything else capable of taking photographs. Unsurprisingly, she eagerly accepted the opportunity to travel to the Antarctic to record observations and complete research. One of the animals they were going to study there was the unfamiliar yet enticing leopard seal, one of wildlife's most unique and enthralling sea life creatures whose lifestyle and physiological behaviors are nothing short of an allure to researchers, and more needed to be known about these beautiful creatures as at the time. A journey to the Antarctic region is a day's work. Several plans had to be put together, and the crew would have to be completely protected and all equipped for the intended journey. She tagged along with some glaciologists, meteorologists, and biologists who were more interested in the animal population in the area. It was well planned, as they used aircraft to get to their research stations already temporarily built in the area. As it wasn't the crew's first research exploration, although it wasn't entirely the same individuals going on these missions, as this was Olivia's first tour in the area. The bright American woman made sure to capture vital research moments as the workers used ice core drills to extract some ice core samples, radiosonde experiments, rock drills, and so much more. These were mostly done on the Antarctic ice grounds. She also got pictures of beautiful penguins, krills spiraling around the waters close to the icy soil, and more panoramic shots of the beautiful expanse. It was time to board the icebreakers and sail the ocean, studying the local animal population and sea currents using their acoustic Doppler current profilers, CTD rosettes, and other research tools. Olivia hopped on, making sure to capture everything on her camera lens as they soared around. It grew much more exciting as they got to areas populated with krills, creating beautiful swirling movements around them. Still, the sea creatures weren't alone. Leopard seals, who were acting as predators and consuming the abundant krills in the area, were also one of their chief prospects of research. It was another fantastic sight for Olivia to steal on camera. Leopard seals move with effortless grace through the frigid waters, their sleek bodies slicing through the ice. They use potent strokes to navigate the cold currents, their streamlined forms demonstrating mastery of the marine environment. Their fur, which shines against the vast, pristine ice, allows them to blend in seamlessly. A leopard seal speeds up to catch its prey. Its powerful jaws open wide, revealing long, sharp teeth ideal for capturing and devouring krill. The play of light on the seal's dark, spotted coat creates a captivating spectacle as it moves gracefully through the krill-laden waters. And what better way to observe and capture all of this than to be a wildlife photographer? After that expedition, they also approached an area where they could observe little leopard seal kids placed on icebergs and watching out for their parents to smuggle some krills for them to dive in. The crew headed closer to get a good study of the behavior and take some good pictures too. Olivia, probably much ecstatic about the wonder, decided to bend in closer to get much closer, more precise and fantastic pictures. But on that occasion, she toppled over the icebreaker clumsily and fell into the icy ocean waters. It probably elicited the leopard seals, and from the account of the scenario, the older leopard seals, who seemed stealthy in the area, attacked the icebreaker, causing distractions as the crew attempted to haul Olivia back in. The young woman pushed towards the iceberg to see if she could get up on top of it. But another leopard seal clawed her legs with its teeth and began to drag her into the ocean water. It was a terrifying sight to see the young photographer submerged in the frigid waters, her palpable screams turning into water bubbles. But some of the crew wore masks and dived into the waters, using sharp spikes to strike the seal, and a few others who attempted to attack. The leopard seal had been throwing Olivia in various directions while tightly chewing her legs, attempting to knock her out. However, the crew quickly intervened, knocking the leopard seal away and carrying Olivia onto the boat. They quickly returned to the station, making sure to avoid further attacks, and delivered the young photographer to the medical personnel. They acted quickly to address her situation, because the violent water collisions had knocked her out and left her with severe leg injuries. Because it was not a fully escalated attack, they were able to resuscitate her and kept her in intensive care for the remainder of the expedition. It was a close call and one of several unusual attacks by leopard seals on humans, including an American photographer. However, it serves as a reminder of the importance of taking proper precautions when approaching the wild and shock absorbers in an emergency. Olivia Davis's life was saved thanks to the crew's good organization and mission operation, and she would most likely have continued with her fantastic wildlife photography exploits, backed up by her fantastic journalism skills. It was a situation set up to be close, and any slight error or negligence would have resulted in gore and added to the number of live accounted deaths caused by the astounding leopard seals. Wildlife offers countless magnificent wonders, so many that one could never see them all. It encompasses various creatures and different beautifully crafted and presentable features, such as animals, stunning waters, mesmerizing landscapes, romantic weather, and anything else you can think of, each unique based on their distinctive characteristics. There are lions, tigers, fish, snakes, seals, and even penguins. There is the African savanna, mountains, valleys, and the stunning Antarctic region, and the list goes on. And as a wildlife enthusiast, you may never be able to see everything. It looked to be the same issue encountered by Marta Sanchez, a Spanish scientific researcher who traveled to Antarctica with a crew to conduct major observations. Marta's objectives for the expedition were to obtain good information about penguins in the area, as she needed the information not only to improve her working role, but also to help expand and develop the Spanish Research Institute for which she worked, along with her crew that embarked on the trip to Antarctica. They had established a temporary station, so they boarded an aircraft to land there to begin their research during the austral summer of early January, a good season for penguins to forage in the water, particularly near their breeding colonies. Marta, who had studied over 250 different species of animals for her institute, was her usual ambitious self, heading to the Antarctic coasts to uncover some missing information about penguins and other information that needed to be clarified to gather enough information for the animal world and encyclopedia. When the crew arrived at the ecstatic region, a pristine world of dazzling white, where towering glaciers cast their icy gaze over expansive fields of snow, creating a majestic and untouched wilderness, they wilted in their tight and warm jackets. The crisp and pure air carried whispers of an ancient silence that appeared to echo through the icy valleys. The sunlight, filtered through a polar sky painted in blue and pink, casts a soft, ethereal glow across the landscape. Glacial peaks stand as sentinels against the vastness, their sheer walls reflecting the frozen realm's eternal endurance. It was a beautiful sight, and the energy and determination to kick off work wasn't an issue, as the beautiful world gave them energy and their fixed deadline too. They all went to their respective work sections, equipped with all the necessary instruments. Martha set out with a journalist and another biologist in her field to explore the area, teeming with penguins who had come out to enjoy the beautiful austral summer. When Martha arrived at the location, it was a marvel, and the penguins were far more beautiful than she had imagined based on her account, as it was the first time she had seen penguins realistically, which was one of the reasons she was so excited about the project. They first chose to observe them from a distance, taking pictures and marveling at their distinct antics and personalities. They soon approached closely to begin the research work they had been assigned, with Martha in charge of the operation. Their equipment ranged from essential field tools like binoculars and notebooks to advanced technologies like genetic sequencers and underwater monitoring devices. The goal is to comprehensively understand penguins' lives and the factors that influence their survival in the harsh Antarctic environment. It's a highly complex job that demands a lot of expertise. Most of us would need to learn or be part of the research team to gain more knowledge about it. However, it's filled with excitement and surprises. Some penguins could also be seen in the shallow water areas, having fun and enjoying the beautiful surroundings. Based on the crew's approach, a large number of them were not scared away. On the other hand, Martha noticed a desolate frozen channel with many penguins that appeared to have migrated to the area. She briefed her crew briefly before departing to see what was happening and look around the frozen waterway. The stark beauty of the icebergs towering around her was captivating and intimidating. Unbeknownst to her, a formidable predator lurked beneath the icy depths, a massive leopard seal whose dark spotted form blended seamlessly with the shadows beneath the frozen surface. The Antarctic silence was abruptly broken when Martha's weight caused the ice to crack, trapping her briefly. Panic set in as she struggled to free herself, unaware of the silent threat lurking below. Using their adaptive instincts, the penguins wiggled out of the small spaces, leaving Martha stuck in the channel. The leopard seal, typically a sleek and formidable hunter, detected the vibrations through the ice and closed in on its unsuspecting prey. The biologist and researcher used some of her equipment to break off enough ice to free herself. But she felt her legs being grabbed by vicious teeth, and her screams alerted her crew members. Martha was dragged into the water beneath the channel by the leopard seal, whose appearance she became increasingly aware of as she struggled to escape. The creature began to toss her around, causing her head to collide with her iceberg, knocking her out, and soon began to draw her into the waters. But her two crewmates, who had heard her screams earlier, pushed through the ocean and quickly began beating the creature with masts they had rushed to get. They could see the ocean painted with blood that was oozing from Martha's bitten leg, and her head that had collided with an iceberg. The leopard seal let go of Martha and disappeared into the ocean, while Martha was rushed to the medical personnel that had traveled with them. It was a severe situation, and she was given the best treatment available at the time before being flown back to Spain for proper medical care. She was relieved of her project responsibilities and adequately cared for by her institute, while her crew continued the research with caution. That period of terror as the frozen channel trapped the young woman down to her near death from being dragged into the ocean. That period of complete horror and scare. The most horrific part of the account of this particular leopard seal attack. It is something one would never dream of experiencing. And it is such good news that the young Spanish researcher survived the scenario. There's nothing more soothing than sharing the wonder you're exploring with others, brightening their eyes with treats to watch, and sharing the same amusement and excitement with them all over the world. However, it's not always about excitement because when it comes to wildlife, anything can go wrong at any time, and it's impossible to depict when, how, or where. This is not far from the account of Danish documentary filmmaker Nikolaj Pedersen. Nick was a very eccentric and daring wildlife explorer, and his organization ensures that all of his exploits are recorded and displayed for viewers to join in and explore the world's wonders with their own eyes. This time he was going to snorkel along the Antarctic coast, which was a fantastic task for an enthusiastic and ambitious worker like him. Snorkeling is a blissful immersion into the vibrant aquatic world. Under the surface, a kaleidoscope of colors emerges as coral reefs teem with life. The rhythmic sound of your breath blends with the gentle lapping of waves, creating a peaceful symphony. Graceful fish dart through crystal clear waters, and sunlight dances in playful patterns across the ocean floor. With each breath, you become a fleeting participant in an underwater ballet, discovering the beauty of the ocean's hidden gems. Only this was in frigid Antarctic waters, which made the prospect more exciting for the crew. Still, it was also dangerous because icebergs and glaciers had to be avoided, as well as predators in the area, such as the leopard seal. A large project like this usually involved amassing a lot of equipment because several explorations would be taking place, as well as providing the viewers with a high-resolution view and the best quality experience possible, along with the crew. They gathered all of the necessary equipment, including underwater cameras, drones for aerial shots, stabilization gears, directional microphones, windshields, windjammers, cold weather gears, safety equipment, and many other elements required for creating such a documentary. They boarded an aircraft to Antarctica, where a temporary station had been set up for documentary filming. What you can show the world on the enchanting Antarctic coast is limitless. The crew focused on most of the Antarctic coast's distinctive features as soon as they began. They explored vibrant penguin colonies, discovered their social dynamics and breeding rituals, and took cinematic trips alongside majestic whales to witness their annual migration and capture the grace of their movements through icy waters. Explore the coastal stories of seals, from adorable pups to the stealthy pursuits of leopard seals, capturing the diverse behaviors that define these seaside communities. Witness iceberg ballets, southern Antarctic night displays, scientific expeditions, and more. The project progressed until a single occasion when Nick had to go on one of his snorkeling episodes to see the inner Antarctic Ocean and its beauty, which was one of the most exciting parts of the documentary, as it revealed the unparalleled magnificence of the frigid deep waters of the ice-filled sea. Nick donned his required gadgets and mask and dove into the waters with underwater cameras to view and give the camera a view of the ocean's surroundings as he swam across the ocean, beneath and crowded by icebergs. The sight was breathtaking, and the prismatic seascapes delighted everyone even more. It was breathtaking as Nick glided through ethereal ice formations beneath the surface, where sunlight refracted through translucent icebergs, creating an otherworldly kaleidoscope of colors. Unbeknownst to the young Danish man, a leopard seal had spotted him as prey, most likely mistaking him for a fur seal, according to the witnesses' accounts, because leopard seals attacking humans were primarily motivated by defense or confusion. Nick was approached stealthily by the predatory creature, which stuck its teeth in his foot region and caused pain, alerting the filmmaker to the potential threat. The crew watching from above was alerted by the case and immediately took action, sending some workers to dress up to rescue the situation. The leopard seal made several vocal sounds as it attempted to whirl Nick around until he was unconscious, its teeth still sunk into his foot. Rescue arrived quickly, but one of them tried to knock it out and was bitten on the neck as a defense from the creature. His screams were heard, and the predator attempted to drag him off into the deep ocean with it. But other strikes from the other accomplices sent it away empty-handed back into the sea's camouflage. Nick and his fellow victim worker were quickly rushed to medical personnel, who provided them with adequate treatment to keep them alive until they were transported to reputable medical facilities. The documentary filmmaking had to be put on hold for a while as the organization's employees recovered. According to the accounts, it was a horrific occurrence that made many people's hearts skip a beat, and it's a miracle that Nick was saved because he was such a valuable asset to the Institute, as stated by one of the video production staff. Such an occurrence would significantly increase security and safety in the future, considering that once bitten, twice shy. This applies even in the context of a horrific leopard seal attack. There's nothing better than keeping all the excitement to yourself. A solo run through the obstacles as the Temple Run character escapes the villain pursuing her, while exploring the beautiful world. The most enjoyable aspect is that you can do whatever you want and however you want. But as always, the good must be balanced by the bad. And that solo masterclass may prove to be a mistake if you get into trouble because no one is there to save you. When it comes to wildlife, it's another colossal mark of horror because you're alone to fight for your life amid a terrible end, as was almost the case in the account of Thomas Hughes, the young English international and explorer. Thomas had obtained all of the necessary permits and equipment to embark on a solo adventure in the Antarctic region. He would be accompanied by some safety guides as well as the presence of the ever-present researchers in the area. But he was going to kayak alone in the Antarctic seas and observe the beautiful waters and icebergs with whatever beauty they possessed on and inside. His boat was not your typical kayak. Instead, it was designed to withstand being split apart by icebergs or similar incidents. Kayaking along the Antarctic coast is a poetic connection with the awe-inspiring beauty of nature. It's like a dance between the human spirit and the icy grandeur that surrounds it. As you glide through the clear waters, the kayak becomes a vessel of exploration, moving through a world where massive icebergs stand like ancient guardians, reflecting the magical glow of polar light. It is not queer, it is normal. To experience the thrill of the sea, whirlwinds, and chills, kayak along the Antarctic coast, but exercise extreme caution. After arriving in the Antarctic region, they set up camp in the area, and the kayak was ready for Thomas to embark on his adventure in the water. He put on all the necessary gear and had some gadgets to scare dangerous creatures like leopard seals. Soon he sailed on the frigid waters, paddling forward to take in the breathtaking Antarctic scenery. As he paddled through the frigid waters, massive icebergs rose like frozen titans, their jagged peaks reflecting the colors of a polar sunset. The Antarctic wildlife unfolded its wonders before him. Playful penguins porpoised beside his kayak, their sleek bodies cutting through the crystal-clear waters. Seals adrift on ice floes looked at Thomas curiously, appearing unconcerned about his presence. The kaleidoscope of colors beneath the surface fascinated him. Nature's relentless forces sculpted glacial ice formations into shapes that defied imagination. It was an incredible adventure that he continued with the watchful eye of his companions and the researchers observing the environment. It was all until he came across an area of the region and noticed some predatory movements toward a prey, a penguin in the vicinity. However, the creature noticed his kayak drifting and decided to approach his area. Thomas watched as a sleek, spotted figure moved gracefully, almost imperceptibly, through the cold depths. The formidable leopard seal. As the kayak floated on the tranquil water, the leopard seal approached with a quiet yet deliberate demeanor. Its dark silhouette became more distinct, navigating the polar depths with predator-like precision. The icy water concealed its presence until it gradually rose, revealing its formidable presence. The leopard seal swam languidly towards the kayak, a glint in its eye. As the distance between the seal and the kayak decreased, primal curiosity drove its actions. The leopard seal subtly turned and positioned itself beside the kayak, its head rising above the waterline. Dark eyes fixate on the vessel, a mysterious, intimidating gaze that cuts through the icy surroundings. It slowly opened its powerful jaws, revealing rows of sharp teeth. It moved deliberately towards the kayak as if to test the resilience of the unfamiliar object in its territory. Noticing this, and after careful but curious observation, Thomas attempted to react as the creature attempted to topple the boat and drag him into the water. He picked up a metal mast and began hitting it to scare it away. But it agitated the boat enough that Thomas fell into the water while attempting to stand up, and things became tense. The observers noticed and immediately dispatched some workers to assist him. At the same time, the young man chased the disturbing leopard seal away with his metal mast, his heart pounding like never before as he watched the creature stare at him predatorily. Fortunately, the workers arrived in time and got him out using their aircraft ladders and the kayak. It was one of his most crucial exploration moments because he knew he was so close to becoming a wildlife attack victim. His kayaking was halted, but he got quite a sight in his solo exploration. It benefited him better because he was able to get people observing him from afar, so that if there was any danger, he would be rescued because life is only once, not twice, not 3 times, and indeed not 9 times. It should be guarded responsibly, especially when it comes to wildlife. As Thomas Hughes's account seemed to point out, because a harmless adventure could turn out to be one's final day. Seeing is the virtue of coming into contact with something extraordinary, providing your eyes and imagination with the most telling of food, and satisfying the hunger the mind has created for not witnessing a particular scenario. The world promises many beautiful sights, and as long as one keeps changing environments and makes the necessary efforts to explore, this will never end. However, caution must be exercised in all situations, because as wonderful as it is to please the eyes, those same eyes could lead you and your body to what could be the last food it consumes. This is not too dissimilar from the account of the American tourist Michael Calloway and the other 7 tourists who set out on a cruise to observe the Antarctic icebergs. Like any other cruise, it required proper preparation, guidance, and padding for the harsh and intense cold weather that the Antarctic region is acknowledged for. Mr. Michael was more than just a regular passenger on the polar cruise. He was an ardent supporter of preserving and protecting the climate, as well as a fierce opponent of anything that could harm the climate, because he was passionate about the lives of the creatures that live in this particular part of the world. His employer sponsored the cruise, and he was on it with most of his co-workers. It was a grand exposition activity designed to expose its employees to the world's beautiful nature. It was a huge blast, and according to the account, the polar cruise began with huge cheers and support as the boat's engine was turned on, blending into the Antarctic waters slowly. As the Antarctic sun cast an ethereal glow across the icy landscape, tourists on the polar cruise marveled at the majestic beauty surrounding them. Towering icebergs glistened like diamonds in the clear waters, and the air was filled with a refreshing serenity. Mr. Michael, bundled in layers, stood silently in front of the astonished crowd. His eyes reflected the wonder of the vast, unspoiled wilderness. The ship's engines hummed softly in sync with the symphony of cracking ice. This frozen realm, a captivating spectacle, left an indelible mark on the souls of the daring travelers. It was a one-of-a-kind cruise, and it was meant to be because it is sporadic to have first-hand experience in arguably the coldest region of the world. The audience noticed one of the most awkward yet beautiful icebergs, with its way of reflecting light appearing quite different and exciting than others they had seen. The boat was tilted towards the region so they could get a better look, and it was far more beautiful and strangely sculpted than they had previously imagined. Its form defied logic, resembling an otherworldly sculpture that evoked fascination and mystery. Tourists gathered at the railing, drawn to the ice giant's surreal beauty. Mr. Michael, his eyes filled with inquiry and astonishment, joined the crowd. The sunshine painted the unique iceberg in blue and white, producing a beautiful spectacle that defied regular perception. At that fixed moment, the cruise passengers were captivated by the remarkable artistry of the Antarctic landscape. While relishing the spectacle, they were only interrupted by the appearance of sea creatures that appeared to blend in with the vast Antarctic Sea. Unbeknownst to them, a sleek and powerful predator identified as a leopard seal waited beneath the freezing surface. As the ship approached the cluster of icebergs, the leopard seal took advantage of the situation, launching a fast and deliberate ambush. It surfaced near the vessel with silent grace, taking the occupants by surprise. Probably feeling threatened, especially after one of the cruise fellows and Mr. Michael spotted a leopard seal kid on one of the nearby icebergs. The leopard seals began to knock the boat over, causing a massive uproar among the cruise crew as they all became terrified and screamed for help from the guides and safety team on the boat. The passengers gasped as the leopard seal continued to attack, using its muscular body to deliver targeted blows. The boat rocked severely and the crew struggled to keep control. The seal's primitive impulses kicked in and its big body crashed with the boat, resulting in an intense symphony of splashing waves and cracking metal. The leopard seals attempted to knock the boat over. They continued to strike the boat unusually, most likely due to the commotion they had caused in their territorial region. It was up to the safety team to ensure the situation did not escalate. Mr. Michael, a crew member, admitted to being extremely terrified because he was aware of the dangers wildlife possessed and could inflict on its victims. Despite the unexpected assault, the crew, experienced in Antarctic waters, carefully navigated the boat away from the seal's territorial claim. As the vessel drew away, the leopard seal, having successfully protected its territory, disappeared into the frigid depths, leaving behind a party of stunned but unharmed passengers and a boat that carried the markings of a rare and spectacular meeting in the untamed wilderness. It was a huge moment, but perhaps what was needed to round out the enthralling cruise over the Antarctic waters. The crew admitted to having seen almost everything in the area, and the attack on the leopard seal while one of the most horrific moments of their lives was an epic close to the epic environment provided by the cruise, as well as a reminder of the importance of caution and experience when exploring nature, especially where it is at its peak. Michael Calloway, one of the crew's most distinctive members, was also immensely supportive of this event. Almost becoming a victim of a wildlife attack, he felt it was worth recording and sharing. It was just one of those days in the Antarctic region when leopard seals decided to go all leopardy. While that is never a good thing in theory or practice, when the leopard gets leopardy, the prey has to get anti-leopardy. Yeah, there's no other way to battle the untamed, irritated creatures of the wild unless wholly avoided. Exploration is beautiful, especially when violating the ecosystem's habitat rules. Since only fish and other aquatic creatures were meant to be able to survive and appreciate the full beauty of the sea's wonder, the story is quite different now that humans can choose to enjoy what these sea creatures do. However, we must proceed with extreme caution, as the sea's hazards are just as natural as those in our terrestrial world, if not more so. Everywhere you look, creatures are lurking, ready to devour you if you make the slightest mistake, and it's not any different in the Antarctic Sea region. Steve Givens, a young Irish fan of fame, is the one whose story suits this setting. He yearns to be recognized as a diver rather than a pop star, scientist, artist, or writer. Currently, he works as a marine biologist. His achievements are extraordinary, as he has conducted extensive research on ocean grounds. He was unsure whether he was living his dreams. He considered all of this as he prepared his equipment. His assistant aided him in tightening his tank and checking his snorkel, mask, and oxygen levels. His time was set, and he was good to go. As soon as he put on his snorkel and mask, he dove deep into the ocean. As he dove deeper into the ocean, deeper into the darkness of a world he was familiar with, he prepared his mind for the wonders he might encounter. This wasn't the first time, as he remembered the warm waters of the Pacific and the calm waters of the Red Sea. However, the Antarctic was different. It was coldest and darkest. He was amazed as he descended deeper underground. As the Antarctic waters engulf him, a breathtaking world unfolds before his eyes. The cold embrace of the ocean contrasted with the warmth of anticipation, and as he descended, the clear water revealed an otherworldly spectacle. The first glimpse shows an ethereal dance of light filtering through the frigid depths, casting a mesmerizing glow on the icy landscape below. Schools of fish dart gracefully, their silvery bodies gliding through the crystalline waters, creating a ballet of movement that captures the diver's attention. Adapting to extreme conditions, Antarctic marine life creates a surreal tableau. Alien-like sea spiders crawl across the sea floor, while delicate sea anemones sway in the current, forming a vibrant underwater garden. Leopard seals, agile predators of the polar seas, glided effortlessly through the water, their sleek bodies a testament to the adaptability required for survival in such harsh conditions. Encountering ice formations was a transformative experience for the diver. Towering overhead were gigantic icebergs, sculpted by nature, their azure hues and intricate shapes telling stories of time and change. The crackling sounds of melting ice reverberate throughout the underwater expanse, emphasizing the vulnerability of this pristine ecosystem. Stevens could only register the beauty of life in his vast mind because, suspended in the Antarctic abyss, he was not just an observer but also a participant in nature's grand symphony. The rhythmic pulse of the ocean currents, combined with the haunting calls of distant whales, creates a sensory immersion that transcends the mundane world. A profound reverence and respect persisted as he ascended, leaving behind the silent world beneath him. With its surreal beauty and delicate balance, the Antarctic underwater realm serves as a poignant reminder of how interconnected all life on Earth is. However, Stevens returned not only with memories but also with a renewed commitment to protecting the fragile wonders seen in the heart of the Antarctic. He had forgotten that he needed to collect a sample of a strange plant he saw on the way down. He was so captivated by the beauty that he forgot to take samples. As the account noted, it wasn't the first time beautiful sights carried him away. As he descended once more into the frigid waters of Antarctica, he searched desperately for the strangely colored plant. His beeper was buzzing as his assistant attempted to remind him of the time, But he didn't care. He loved the ocean. Stevens dove deeper, expecting to see the breathtaking beauty of the underwater world again. Little did he know that his journey would take a dangerous turn when he encountered an intimidating predator, the leopard seal. As he explored the icy depths, surrounded by a surreal landscape of icebergs and marine life, the serene atmosphere abruptly changed when he discovered the plant he was looking for. Unbeknownst to him, a sleek and powerful leopard seal lurked in the shadows, watching his every movement. The seal closed the gap with lightning speed and launched a surprise attack. The encounter was terrifying, as Stevens found himself face to face with this formidable predator. The leopard seal, known for its aggressive nature and formidable hunting abilities, proved to be a formidable opponent. Its large, powerful jaws and sharp teeth posed a severe risk to his safety. In a desperate fight for survival, Stevens used his training and instincts to repel the relentless attack. The cold Antarctic waters gradually became an asterisk of the struggle to survive. His underwater equipment, usually a source of safety, became a potential hindrance as he struggled to avoid the leopard seal's powerful strikes. It takes work to fend off a creature so adapted to its environment. Despite Steve's best efforts, Steve found himself stuck with vicious bites from the leopard seal, who was most likely mistaking him for a seal in the ocean. Still being experienced, he managed to keep pushing it away and aiming to escape while bearing the pains of his prior injuries. Miraculously, he escaped the leopard seal's clutches and resurfaced to safety, much to the relief of his crewmates and assistant. He was quickly rushed for medical attention to treat the bruises he had sustained. The chilling encounter left him with a newfound appreciation for the untamed beauty of the Antarctic ecosystem and a stark reminder of the dangers lurking beneath the surface. His struggle to get on the boat, and upon his final arrival, his assistant, shocked as well, hastened and pulled him in immediately, knowing he had escaped death by a hair's breadth. And while part of the priceless experience one gains from exposure to wildlife, Steve Givens was highly fortunate to survive the scenario in another epic episode where scars define your story.